It is late. This is a late live today. 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. This whole topic of this live is supposed to be about doing less. And it's 11 p.m. So don't follow my advice. I'm just kidding. So, what are we talking about here? Adrenal fatigue, insomnia, burnout, COVID-19, hormonal havoc going down. Okay? It's the COVID-19 plan. It's the COVID-19. Who's going to last? Who's going to make it through? Okay, so for today's live, that's what I want to talk to you guys about. I want to talk to you about the concept of adrenal fatigue, which many doctors do not accept that theory or do not know about adrenal fatigue yet. Probably the majority, I would say a good half of the population has aspects of adrenal fatigue. And I want to talk to you about that. And first of all, what causes it, and, from an emotional perspective and also from a nutritional perspective. Okay? And it's hilarious with me making this video today because I just got a true taste in the last couple weeks of just being a lot more exhausted because I had my son for 14 days straight. It's amazing. I was just saying in the comments, it's amazing I have not been arrested for causing bodily harm to my son because this is what happens on the COVID-19 plan. I think I had no babysitter this week. I was running my own business. I was doing renovations. I mean, oh my God. We just need a moment of silence for all the mothers out there. Big time props to you. This is the issue with adrenal fatigue. In Chinese medicine, the root cause of adrenal fatigue is too much doing. Too much doing. Too much go, go, go. Too much craziness. Too much busy, busy, busy. And it's so funny. And tell me if anybody is on the call, if they're feeling burnt out or exhausted, or you get, say, 7, 8, 9 hours sleep and you still wake up and you feel tired. Anybody on the call that get that? Say hi, drop a comment. I want to see who's here. And it's so nice to connect with you guys. I just had to jump on today. The other thing is insomnia. Okay, so the minute you get insomnia at night, usually if you wake up to pee, that means that you have some degree of adrenal fatigue. Hi, Kimmy. Oh, I love you. It's so good to see you. And people, this is the crazy thing, is adrenal fatigue and burnout. It's a spiritual shift. It's a spiritual shift because it comes because when you were younger, you were raised by parents that were probably go, go, go all the time. Or, you were taught to have to prove yourself to get love, or to be overly responsible, or to be a pleaser, or, hi, honey. Oh my gosh. Sarah, it's so good to have you here. Oh, it's a kudos to all the mamas. Really, can we just have a props to all the mums during this time? I just can't even believe you guys are handling it, because a lot of times the mothers, they end up pulling all the weight, you know. And sometimes even with men, some men, there's some really good men out there, but there's a lot of men that don't step up when it comes to doing household work, when it comes to helping out with the kids and all this stuff. And the women, and so a lot of the women, we haven't been taught to ask for help. And so we end up taking a lot of this burden, or we don't want to be a burden. So anyhow, so the thing with adrenal fatigue is that it's a spiritual shift, because the people that tend to go into adrenal fatigue is, as a kid, they were taught that they need to work hard to get ahead. They need to be productive. They need to be whatever. So the problem with this is that eventually you run yourself into the ground. And the thing with adrenal fatigue, and this is what I say with all my clients, is you can't go the wrong way, because your body will actually, if you're a person that gives endlessly, you give, you do, your body is going to basically force you to slow down and to slow down and to stop tolerating, to even stop tolerating bullshit, to stop giving to so many people. It's going to force you to be more selfish, to think about yourself. I get so many people in my program that end up getting to a place because they ignore their self. They busy. So they get anxiety. And I see this all the time, and this is why in this program I always ask, what do you do with your anxiety? What do you do? And I always hear people say, oh, I watch a movie, I do this. I'm like, well, that your anxiety is going to get worse, because what you're doing is you're ignoring yourself. You're ignoring yourself. So your inner self can't take abandonment for too long. You know what I mean? It's going to start to rebel. And that's what happens with adrenal fatigue. People, and I see this with cancer all the time. I see all my clients with cancer. A lot of the issues with cancer, number one, some of the biggest issues is when people don't acknowledge what's going on. Sometimes people are even scared of saying they got cancer, or admitting they're fearful of having cancer because they think it will give the cancer power. But what you're doing is you're using fake positivity to try to heal yourself. But it's fake. Fake positivity don't work, yo. Oh my God. Okay? So you can't heal yourself with fake positivity. It's a joke. Okay? So no amount of positive affirmations when you're scared are gonna work. You gotta go into the truth. You gotta go into the true feelings. Okay? So anyhow, with adrenal fatigue, it's a dis-ease of the givers. People that just give and give and give and give and give and give and give. And they never feel they give to their kids, they give to their partners. And when they go to give to themselves, it's like, oh no, I don't want to be a burden. Which is fine, but fuck, man, you've been given for the last 20 years. You deserve a little get back. You know what I'm talking about? Anybody feel like that on the call? Anyone feel like they're a burden? I know I did. It's not your fault. It's just you had some selfish parents, because let me tell you, I know my dad is one of those people growing up who it was always what he wanted to do, you know, never what the kids wanted to do, what he wanted to. He wanted to play tennis. He wanted to do this, you know, so this is the thing, you learn to sacrifice yourself. This is why adrenal fatigue happens, I'm telling you. And people think adrenal fatigue, they think it's high cortisol, like high stress hormone. No, yo. Adrenal fatigue is low cortisol. You don't have enough of the stress hormone to even manage stress. So here you are, usually cortisol goes up. That would be like a stage 1, a stage 2 adrenal fatigue. It goes up, okay? When you start to go into a deep stage adrenal fatigue, burnout, your body gives you a sign at stage 2. It goes, go, 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 crash. Go, 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 crash. And what do? You drink your coffee. Yes, Sarah. Learning how to give myself more and more, but have felt that way for sure. I know. Seriously, man, this is what we all do. This is even women. And it's just, we're trying to balance so many things as women these days. Like, we haven't switched in our culture to being like, the guys take on more of the responsibility as much. And so it's like we're doing the housework, we're doing the nurturing, we're doing the kids' work, the business. It's insane. So when you go into a stage 3 or 4 adrenal fatigue, this is what happens. You're up here. You start to get crashes, little crashes, not big crashes. You are just kind of tired at the end of the day. Or maybe you wake up in the morning and you're tired, but you drink a coffee. Okay? We all do it. But the problem is, you're giving yourself fake energy, man. You are robbing energy from tomorrow. So, if you rob energy, it's like you don't have that energy. So you're stealing it. Fake positivity is useless. Yes, Kim, I totally agree. So you're robbing your energy from tomorrow. And what does coffee do? When you are burnt out, it actually is going to start to lower the cortisol. Okay? So what happens? Like, you're robbing it. So eventually it makes you feel like a boost because you get that cortisol boost. Boom, you get a little boost, but you're using up cortisol that you don't have. Okay? So you don't have the cortisol. So once you're here, it's going to give you a couple signs. It's going to give you another sign. I'll give you another one. Say you want to go to the gym. You're exhausted. And instead of listening to your body, right, you force yourself to go to the gym. And this is the shit. This is what we do. But it's okay. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's just in this fucked up, and I feel like swearing this whole call. Capitalistic, go, go, go. More is better. More is more. More is good. We have learned to disconnect from ourselves. Does it make sense to go to the gym if you're tired? Or does it make sense to have a nap? This is the kind of thing. So what happens when we keep doing this, we keep ignoring these little signs. We force us to be social when we want to have solitude. Then what happens is our adrenals go, fuck you, and they go on strike, and they say, we're not going to produce cortisol anymore. Man, they're like that. Man, we don't want to do it. Screw you. You're not in charge. You're not the boss anymore because you suck. So that's what happens. So your adrenals go, no more. They don't produce cortisol. Okay? So what happens when you don't produce cortisol? Your cortisol goes from here, it's actually here, but it goes lower. So here's the deal with cortisol. Cortisol, it's the wake-up hormone, okay? So the wake-up hormone, it's the highest, the morning, like 8 o'clock, and then it goes up, and then it goes down all day long. So it's highest in the morning and goes down. Kimmy says she's not on regular coffee. Yes, anxiety has gone away. Damn right. I'm going to just talk to you guys about coffee a little bit more, but that's what happens is so high in the morning, low through the day. Low through the day so you can sleep at night. The other thing with cortisol is it's the anti-inflammatory hormone, so you actually need it, okay? You need cortisol. But when you start to go too low cortisol, your kidneys release water. And that's why you start to get all the symptoms, okay? First of all, you don't have enough cortisol. When you wake up in the morning, what do you feel? You feel exhausted because you have no cortisol. You got no wake-up hormone, yo. So it's like, oh my gosh. Okay, so I'll read some comments in a minute, guys. I love you guys. So when you wake up in the morning, that's what happens. It's like you crave coffee, or you crave sugar because your body is like, I don't feel normal. I feel like I need more something. That's why people with adrenal fatigue, they crave salt. They crave sweets. They crave coffee, and it's insatiable. I remember after having my son, I went into a stage 3D adrenal fatigue. Let me tell you, holy fuck. I couldn't work. I could hardly get off the couch. The bright lights would be too much. I had to be in darkness. Sounds was way too much. And oh my God, it was just 2 to 3 years of hell. But so what happens is, and I was craving sweets all the time. Like I couldn't stop eating chocolate bars because it was the only thing that would make me feel like semi-normal. Oh yeah, Lisa says, I've had my 9-year-old son with ADD for 5 months, 0 break. Fuck, Lisa, oh my God, I get it. I'm gonna do a post on adrenal fatigue, and because I have ADD and my son has ADHD, and I'm gonna share a few things that I've been doing with my son on another video, okay? So stay tuned. Yeah, and this is it, guys. Oh my God, I just you guys deserve big props. So, yes, can't you not wait for school to start? Oh my God. Even with COVID, you're like, send them back. Anyhow, so with adrenal fatigue, here are some symptoms. If you're like, do I have it or not? One thing you'll do is when your body releases water, you're going to get all the symptoms of low blood volume. Okay, so that means 1, you might be constipated. Okay, because not enough water means not enough bowel movements. Tell me, guys, if you have any of these symptoms. The other thing you might experience is dryness because there's not enough fluid in the body. So you might get dry eyes. You might experience dry tongue. Some of my clients even experience burning tongue, where it's dry, irritated. Some people, the biggest thing with adrenal fatigue is people get a low mucosa, okay? Meaning the mucosa lining in the body becomes thin. Your esophageal mucosa, your stomach mucosa, your intestinal mucosa. Oh yeah, Kimmy, I'm gonna say that. And that's huge. It's crazy. People don't realize, because then you can get GERD, heartburn, troubles burning in here, reflux. You can get sinusitis issues. My dad had sinusitis so bad, and he was on 6 rounds of antibiotics. I kept looking at his tongue, and he kept thinking he had prostate issues. He was waking up between 3 and 5 to go pee. I kept telling him, Dad, it's not your prostate, it's your lungs. Your lungs are dry. Because he would, every 3 to 5 at night, would have this dry cough the middle of the night, and he has adrenal fatigue. And the one thing he kept drinking all the time, and I told him not to, was green tea. And he kept doing it, and it was drying out his lungs. And let me tell you, the doctor refused to give him any more antibiotics. So he had to come to me, because, parents never come to their children for anything. But So he came to me. I put him on 3 tonics, and he took all 3. I said, you have to take them like religiously. He took them, and wouldn't you know, within 3 weeks, a ball of mucus that big, the size of a large marble, came out of his sinus cavity, hard as a rock, into his throat. It had been stuck up there because it was so dry. And this is the thing with adrenal fatigue. So people will get lower back pain. They'll get dry cough. They'll get dry skin. They'll experience insomnia because there's not enough blood to circulate in the evening. And there's also not enough fluid to cool down the body. Okay? Meaning, if you get night sweats, hot flashes, okay, even the liver needs to be cooled down. It's kind of like an engine on a car. If an engine on a car doesn't get oil, it's going to overheat. Well, that's the same as your liver. So your liver, if you're waking up 1 to 3, there's liver issues in the morning. And if you have adrenal fatigue, sometimes you might even get hot. Like I know for me, if I drink beer or ciders, if I do that a couple days in a row, like last night, I started getting hot. Usually it's the time of the lungs. So 3 to 5. And I started waking up with a little bit just hotter. And I have an air conditioner in the room. So I know because my internal system is overheating because there's not enough fluid. The other thing people will get is they'll get exhausted. Yeah, Kimmy, they get exhausted. And they won't have the ability to manage stress. So they'll just be like, it's just like with my son today. Like I'm out of adrenal fatigue, thank God. Like I'm not in a deep stage, but still, I'm like, if he asks me to play trucks one more fucking time, I'm gonna kill myself. Like, oh my God, I was like, if I hear another poo joke, I'm gonna throw him across the room. Oh my God. So the other thing you might experience is inflammation, pain in the joints, tendon issues, because you need fluid, you need lubrication. So if you don't have lube and blood and fluid in the body, you're gonna get tendinitis. You're gonna get, tennis elbow. You're gonna get, what am I thinking? Ligament issues like golfer's elbow and tennis elbow and all these kind of things. Bursitis. The other thing people will get is sometimes their bones will start hurting. I know when I was in deep stage, my actual bones, because kidney and adrenal, the kidney system, it rules the bones in Chinese medicine. It rules the bones and it rules the ears. So what that means is people with adrenal fatigue will tend to get either not enough fluid in the ear, or too much fluid in the ear. So for me, when I was in a deep stage, I think I had pressure in my ear for a year. For a year and a half. It was insane. And that's why some people will get tinnitus and all those different symptoms. Does anyone have these symptoms on the call? You guys have to tell me. So, the first, I'm going to wrap it up because I'm going a little too long. But these, first of all, these are the symptoms. So you start to understand adrenal fatigue. And for anyone, first of all, that's dealing with this, oh my God, come, you guys book a breakthrough call with me because this is what my program deals with. I seriously went through a stage 4 adrenal fatigue and Kundalini awakening. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of Kundalini, but it just rocked. It rocked my world. And after that, I was like, I am committing my life to helping people with burnout and to learn how to come home to yourself, because it is an identity shift when you go through it, because you go from being this productive person and you're together, you have it all together, to being getting a lot done, to feeling lazy, to feeling angry and impatient, to feeling like you can't even take one more fucking thing happening. That's, you get to that place. It's like, oh my God, if one more thing happens, I'm going to fucking lose it. That's where you get, if it goes deep. And the thing with adrenal fatigue, you don't want it. If you're getting night sweats and hot flashes, it's starting to go deep. And you don't want it to go super deep, because when adrenal fatigue goes, if it gets really late stage, like it goes stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 3, A, B, C, D, 4. If you start to get to a 3C, 3B, 3C, 3D even, whoa, it takes years to heal. We're talking 2 to 3 years to heal adrenal fatigue. Like 2 years probably, or a year and a half, to start to get to a better place. Because I think why that happens is because divinity, whoever you believe in, knows if it just gave you energy in like a day, you'd go right back to your old self. When you heal from adrenal fatigue, it's a rebirth. We're talking, you're learning how to become a receiver. You're learning how to do less. You're learning how to ask for support. So, Sarah says ear issues. Yeah, and ear issues are interesting, because it's really about not being heard either as a kid, and either not hearing yourself, not hearing your inner self, your inner voice. Like your mind is running the show. Your brain is running the show. I always know when I'm getting tension there, or like a little bit of stuff. It's always like, yeah, what am I not hearing? What am I ignoring within myself? So for people with adrenal fatigue, if my one tip to you, and then first of all, for anybody that is, Kimmy's on the call. Kim was one of my clients for, I guess, a bit of time, off and on. And she's doing amaze balls. She says amaze balls. And Kim came to me. Fuck, she had, right, Kimmy? We met on Kijiji ad, but had major adrenal fatigue, probably late stage, super late stage. And now she's learning to master, learning it. It took a little bit, but it's coming. You're doing so good. But this is the thing, is it's not just one thing. It's an identity crisis, because you're learning to embrace your worst. The side of you that's lazy, the side of you that's selfish, the side of you that doesn't have it all together and doesn't know what's going on, the side of you that has to ask for help over and over and over and over again, and again and again. You know that? Kind of just like when you get really, when you get a ton of anxiety. I remember with my son and adrenal fatigue, I remember I just like was losing it, and I had to ask for help again, and I hated asking for help. And then another thing would happen, and I'd break down again. I have to ask for help again. And I just remember saying to the universe and God, I was like, how many times? And it wouldn't make me stop asking for help until I was totally okay with it. I was 100% okay with being a burden. I actually saw the beauty of being a burden. I actually saw the beauty of leaning on people and the community that it creates and the connection I had been robbing myself from. Okay, so like healing from this. So if there's any tips, just one tip first of all to do is, how can I do less? You have to start thinking about how to work smarter, not harder. And you know how, I don't know if anyone's a fourth child on the call. What's your birth position? What's your birth positions? I want to know. Sarah, are you a number one? Are you first child? Yeah, I wonder. Because sometimes the last children, because there's so much love in the family, they are good receivers. They get a lot of receiving, and things come to them easier. Like my brother is like that. He just gets jobs and whatever, and he just always has people doing things for him. Whereas like the first or second child's, yeah, I can tell. I have a feeling you're just the first child there. But yeah, the first and second sometimes can be always, they got so much pressure on them. And they tend to have to struggle a little bit more in life because of it. Because they weren't taught they weren't taught to receive very well. They were taught they have to do. And so their doing comes from a state of lack a little bit, and pressure. And so the very first thing you want to do is start by, how can I do less? And, who can I disappoint? How many people can I disappoint this week? Yeah, Kimmy says, we said stage 4. Yeah, Kim, you were like, stage 4 in adrenal fatigue is pretty much almost death, by the way. It's like, you can't go much lower than that. It's pretty late stage. So that's the thing. So the biggest thing, like, I always, whenever I'm dealing with adrenal fatigue now, it's like, I always say, if I could say no without guilt, would I say no? Without guilt, would I say no? That's the answer. So, and if you still can't say no, that's when you need to start diving into doing some of the deep inner child work and going back. Sarah says, yeah, let's disappoint people. Yes. Okay. I'm going to wrap this up because this is a long call, but I just had to jump on. But that's a good thing. So how many people can you disappoint, and how can you do less? That's the very first thing, because really that's what it is. And I even have a girl today in my program. She just told me that since she signed up for the program, it's like everything's coming up, because that's what happens when you decide to do self-work. Your inner child says, oh, finally, after 30 years, 50 years, you're deciding to pay attention to me, and it comes up more anxiety, more whatever, and that's a good thing. That's because anxiety is actually a blessing, but people think it's a problem. And she actually decided to like go part-time with her job because it's too much. And I was like, fuck, that's amazing. And we need to do this more. We need to do this in our culture, is like, what is success to us, not to the standard status quo. Okay? Yeah, Kim is firstborn too. Yeah, it's so funny. Almost all my people in the program tend to be first and second childs, but just the way it is. It's just the type A achievers. So I'm gonna wrap it up. But for anybody, I love you guys, and I just want to say thanks for hopping on this call. I was super busy today. I couldn't get on here before this time, but book in for a breakthrough call if you're wanting to change this aspect of your life. It's not as simple as just going on Google, because adrenal fatigue, it takes, first of all, you have to get a nutritionist or practitioner that knows about Chinese medicine or Ayurvedic medicine, because it's not the one diet fits all. Let's just say that. The other thing, and next week I'm going to actually talk about, or soon, maybe tomorrow, I'll talk about adaptogenic herbs and why they're amazing. But it's also, you got to look at the childhood traumas, because 80% of our health and nutrition, like 80% of our our physical wellness is emotional versus nutritional. And the reason we eat honey crullers, is probably emotional. So addressing that is key. And, being even adrenal fatigue, we didn't even hit on the heavy hitters, which is abandonment and you know, not being safe. Those, you know, stuff like that. But book in for a breakthrough call. I'm going to put the link below, and it's free, and we see where you are, where you want to go, and what steps it might take to get there, and what I think might be work for you. Okay, guys, I love you. You're amazing. I'm so glad I'm so glad you're taking care of you and like spending time and watching videos like this to like nurture your soul. But hop on. My program is the bomb for this. I'm getting great results. I just had 2 sisters sign up, and oh my God, it's already big changes. So I love you guys. Have an amazing day. How many people can I disappoint this week? Peace.